Welcome to the Bridge of Love. My name is Erin Cameron, and this is my daughter Hadden. The Bridge of Love is our nonverbal connection. We created this podcast to share with you our journey and also some of the wisdom and amazing perspective from Hadden's messages and that nonverbal connection. We also teach others how to communicate nonverbally and telepathically in our Soul Speak course. So check that out. It's on our website, erincameron.org. We really appreciate you joining us today for this episode, and we hope you enjoy it. Please share with anyone you think might find it interesting. And we so appreciate all of you following along on our journey. We can feel your love and support, and we're sending that right back to you. So thanks again, and we hope you enjoy. Creation doesn't make mistakes is what we're talking about today. Our choice to be here now exactly as we are. And if you have a special kiddo, you kind of know where this is headed or coming from as we, very easily question things from the early days with them. And that's what we're here to shift, and what Hadden has led me to continue to shift myself. So I want to first share an experience that I've had for the last week or so with Hadden. I've been, her bedtime is kind of like a tricky time for us because I say that she has like FOMO. She doesn't want to miss out. If anyone is awake in the house, she knows, especially me. So she kind of tends to wait for me to fall asleep. And so we've gone through different versions of, what bedtime looks like. And sometimes I'll just give her space and let her lay in her room with the door open and not, maybe the light on, or, so she doesn't feel like we're putting her to bed, right? She's 18, so. Anyway, this week I've been called to just go in there with her and hang out and lay next to her. And I've been having this experience of just feeling what it feels like to be with her. And not because sometimes I go into the situation with her, if it's just me and her, I'll really try to see what she's saying to me. And I've noticed that my brain gets involved sooner than later with that. And I tend to catch myself looking at her and trying to figure out what she's saying to me, the human her. So the last 2 or 3 nights I've been in there, and I can feel on like a whole other level her energy. The new earth is living as energy and sensing others' energy. And that really has been my experience on this whole other level where I actually can sense what she's communicating to me, but she exists on this level where she doesn't need to talk to you. They are, when you're in a higher frequency, they're just transmitting, is my experience. They're constantly transmitting. It's like a gift to be in her presence. And in that, what came to me was I would go into just feeling it. Just feel it. Just feel our energy together. Feel what is coming off of her. Feel what I feel. All of it. Just it becomes this very distinct vibration of oneness. And when you're in oneness with someone that you're that familiar with, then is that high of a vibration. And that I've done a lot of work to meet. I've done a lot of work in letting go of all the non-truths of our situation to really exist with her in the higher vibrations. And I swear to you, it's happening. And it goes so far beyond words, but in it, I actually do get a translation. And I said this in my course, where I know that what we're doing is we're translating energy. That's what telepathy is. That's what channeling is. And truly, in that moment, I just know what she knows. And it is the coolest thing. It is such a new level. And my thought here is that when you go into the feeling first, don't even try to think about what they're saying to you, or that you're maybe missing something, or that you're waiting for something to drop in. Don't even think about that. Just feel. Just drop into your body and feel. Because when you slow down and you breathe, and that's the other thing, is I just breathe into complete and total presence with her. And the other thing that's happening is when I'm looking at her and she's just lit up. She's like smiling bigger than she ever smiles during the day. She's like looking at me, like looking. Her eyes are, it's difficult for her to focus her eyes. And I find her like, oh my God, you're here. Like this look on her face, like, yes, this is so cool. And it's not that I haven't experienced that before, but you wouldn't think that lying with someone, laying down, practically asleep, almost asleep, right? Look, we're very relaxed evening vibe here. And she is like, yes, you're here. Like, this is so awesome. And her face is like this. It's just beyond any of the sort of more daytime experiences I've had recently. Oh my goodness. I wanted to share that because some of this is so much about being in the frequency. That's it. And she's around me all the time. I get to be in Hadden's frequency all the time. And the more I come into it the more I come into my own, I'm able to meet her there, and it's just complete and total magic. And she is beside herself about it. And the other thing was that in the feeling, when you go into the feeling first, when I'm just feeling her vibration and all of it, there's a knowing there. And I actually can translate it, but it's such a deep knowing of what she's saying. It is beyond words, but you could, if you wanted to, and I do in that moment sometimes put it into words, and sometimes I just let it be. And that's kind of what I wanted to lead into today, about letting all of this knowledge to just be and sink in, and let it just come to you, and let it kind of just land. You don't have to understand it with your mind. Consciousness is not sometimes to be understood with the mind. And the more you chase it, you actually come out of your heart and into your brain and into your mind and into that part of us that we've learned so many things from, that it's hard to actually get the knowledge, right? And what was happening to me as I laid there with her is that I was in complete and total presence, out of my mind, because I was just feeling her and us. And it was so amazing what I felt. And in the feeling of our souls hanging out, I guess, our energy, there was a knowing. And it's like, oh, yes. Like, I could feel her, like they're like downloading stuff to us. Really, it's really beautiful. It goes beyond love, it goes beyond words, it goes beyond so many things. Um it's transcendent. And I just want to share that because I think that's the potential of this time. And if you kind of just start allowing this stuff to land, you will eventually have your own experiences. And that was kind of, has always been my point with teaching nonverbal communication, is everyone starts at a different point. You're already doing a lot of it. You're as a parent usually, or a teacher or an aide. But as you just open to whatever point you're at, it will expand. And I'm continuing to expand into it. And it's really beautiful. So, this topic of creation doesn't make mistakes. I found that when I sat with it, it just cleared like a level that I didn't really realize I was holding on to with Haddon. These sort of a little bit of just a final sliver of residual beliefs that I have about her condition, right? But this is just, it's a beautiful topic for me. And I think for all of us to just sort of let those things go that come up, anything that comes up when you sit with, there are no mistakes. God energy, source energy, creator energy does not mess up. It's like just sit with that, right? And that's kind of what I want to do today is just sit with it. And in that, I found myself asking the question, where does it stop? Like when we think about the way we should be, right? All the ways we should be, or the ways that things should be. Any kind of should, right? It doesn't stop with them. So if you have a kid that it has an identified condition, a known thing, whatever it might be, if you find yourself judging that and trying to fix that and sort of pointing at that as a thing that needs to be fixed or helped or changed in any way, which is all this is fine, right? This is how we journey through these levels of consciousness. It doesn't stop with them though. Where does that actually go? And what I find is it's really about us. And what we're doing is we're saying, what did I do? I thought this for years. I was in this for the perfect amount of time. I was in this cycle of, and different levels of it. Early on, it was just, I was almost obsessively like thinking back to what I might have done to contribute to mutating Hadden's genes, which is nuts. I used to work in a lab, in a scientific lab, and I would think about like, oh gosh, I must have, uh, not washed my hands or not worn gloves when I was working with DNA, right? Because I actually did work in molecular biology. And I was like, wow, what found its way into my genome and hers and all like what's in the water, what did this, what happened? And you can be there as long as you want. But my point is when you go there with a child or anyone with a condition like Hadden's or something similar, you actually start like this. It doesn't actually end there. It's if you're questioning one thing, it's everything, if that makes sense. So that's why this existence with them is so beautiful, because once you open up to the truth that they are shifting us into, it affects everything in your reality. And so this is my point. And being the most important being how you're judging yourself, because that really does project out into your reality and come back to you as your reality. So just ask yourself that question, right? And kind of what I did is I kind of could step back and observe how that had sort of, how it could apply to anyone or anything in my reality. Thinking about how things really should be. Well, they shouldn't have a mutated gene. That's wrong. There's a genome that's right and there's a genome that's wrong. She's got something wrong, right? Anything like that. It's like this huge opportunity to step back and go, okay, why am I questioning that? And what am I really questioning? And about myself, and about, uh, my own path. Just where does that go for you? And sort of becoming an observer of what comes up. Either when you hear creation doesn't make mistakes, or you hear the question, where does this stop? If I'm judging one thing, what else am I judging? And usually it goes right back to yourself. What did I do wrong, right? And what can I do to fix it? And we're being shifted out of the fixing dimension. That's the third dimension. That's where our physical reality always needs something to be better. And what else came to me when I kind of sat with this topic, and it really came in very quickly, the first thing that came in was that all of this is reminding you of the choice, our choice to be here now exactly as we are. It lives within you, the knowing that you chose it. You are knowing. You are all knowing. Your soul is all knowing. And as you feel into it and let this take up space in your body, you'll feel a resonance. No resistance, just resonance. And I say that because resistance, in my experience, was trying to make sense of all of this happening to me. I call it the why God dilemma. So that's the main download I got immediately, is like, we're just reminding you of something you already know, that creation doesn't make mistakes, and that you chose to be here now exactly as you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And just feel how that feels compared to this life happened to me. I had this experience once where I was like, and I think I might have been in channel, and my soul or Hadden was leading me back to, what's the first time you thought something was wrong in your life? And this just sort of dropped in just now, but most of us will go back really far. But it went all the way back to birth, essentially. It was like in meditation, I was just tracking back. Okay, there was this time in my childhood, that thing wasn't right. I felt this thing that happened to me, this other thing that happened that was wrong. Like things that were things that were happening in my reality that didn't resonate with me, that I thought were happening to me, and it's incredible that how far back it goes. And my point here is that this is part of the human journey and the human experience, and there's a purpose in it. And just feel into that. Everything that's happening to you in one dimension, we'll call it the third dimension. As soon as you get here, everything's, this happened and then this happened, and you're reacting to it. In higher dimensions of consciousness, they happen for you. And they are part of your choice to be here exactly as you are and go through all of these experiences. So I call all this, the why God dilemma. It's in the third dimension. You're like, why did this happen? My why God story. I know I had many moments of this, but my very first one, probably the one I remember with Hadden, it's the license plate story. If you've watched the podcast, you have heard it probably. We were driving back from the NICU, like one of the very first nights after I had her, and we had to leave every night and drive home. And I'm in the passenger seat, and her dad's driving, and it came over me. I was just like, why? Why, God? Like, why did this happen? This is crazy. Like, I didn't get to take my baby home. There's something majorly wrong with her, and we keep having to go home every night. And what in the world? Why, right? I look at the car in front of us, and the license plate had the letters HAV, the number 2, and the letter B, and a plus sign. have to be positive. And I was like, okay, that didn't really answer my question, or it's not really the answer my brain wanted, my mind wanted, but it was certainly an answer in that moment from higher consciousness, from the asking, and so clear, right? And what I think about this is some of the things that happen to us in life, if you can focus on the positive and just know that it's happening for a reason and know that it has purpose in your life, that knowing you'll land in a higher dimension of consciousness where you can just let all the lower stuff go and and life will show you why. And it's a lot more beautiful from that level, the why, because it's no longer happening to you, it's happening for you. I have Hadden now, and she is the brightest light, the strongest, most amazing vibration, so highly conscious, and she waited for me there and guided me to where she is in that soul level perspective, which is beautiful and freeing and magical, all the things. So that's my why God story. Have to be positive. And then I went with that and I said, okay, I guess I'll do that. And sometimes it's that simple. When you think about our existence as a choice, it literally removes that why God dilemma. If we chose all of this, if Hadden from her soul, from her wholeness, chose to come in as a limited, physically limited human being, there's no more why God. She is God. God created her. God doesn't mess up. And in New Earth, things happen for us, not to us. So I think that when you recognize that choice is actually part of this whole thing of creation, not making mistakes, right? The other thing that dropped into me pretty strongly a couple days ago, it was like Hadden was reminding me very strongly. I was like washing dishes or something, and I was like, ugh. She's like, remember, this life is a journey through levels of consciousness. And what came to me was like, wow, their contribution is so huge, because where they're guiding us from and their ability to guide us all the way to these higher dimensions, because they're already there, because they're in the bodies that they're in, because they made the choice that they did. What better way for us to journey through levels of consciousness? That's the entire point of life, and I think it is. It's a journey through levels of consciousness. It's not trying to achieve something, get somewhere. I believe this is the highest truth of our choice and what we really wanted to experience. What better way for us to do that than connected to a highly conscious child who is leading us through it? It makes me so grateful for all of the difficulty. It makes me so grateful for her choosing me as her parent, for me choosing and saying yes to this life right now with her. It's so beautiful when you look at it that way, and how powerful they are and how conscious, and that this applies to typical children as well. Like they are highly connected. And they are, when you look at, I believe that when we get into the new earth frequency, things actually flip. The parents aren't leading the way, the children are. Because vibrationally, they are more they're closer to their soul. They've learned less about what they're supposed to be, should be doing, how they should be. They are authentically expressing. They are guiding us in all of their behaviors and all of their reactions and all of their desires. They're absolute, pure, innocent, connected to their soul, and they're actually highly conscious. So I love how that flips, and I love that realization that dropped in, that if the point of this journey is of life is to journey through levels of consciousness, what better guide than a child like Hadden, and how courageous that choice is for them, and how important it is. Really, their choice is connected to what they came here to contribute to consciousness, to the planet, to the human existence. Their contribution is it's amazing to think of it in that way. In one dimension of consciousness, in the third dimension, they are less capable than us, for example. They're lacking things. They can't talk, they can't eat, they can't do things on their own physically. They have diseases, conditions, diagnoses. They need help, all of these things. And in the higher dimension of consciousness, where they are communicating, by the way, what came to me is that only really highly conscious souls would take on such an existence. I hope all of this is making sense, because it kind of just dropped in as this knowing. It's like, oh, their contribution is bigger because of the way they design themselves and how that leads us through the different levels of consciousness. How you start out with the, why God, oh my God, what is happening? This is not what I thought at all. And you end up in complete and total appreciation of it all. So that's where I am, and that's where Hadden has led me, and that's why we're doing this. That's why we do all of this. Because none of this existed when I had her, at least not in my reality, and I just found myself focusing on it eventually. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and channel Hadden. I had a lot coming through, or trying. Sometimes I have the experience of her like trying to come through before we start, and I'm like, wait, it's not starting yet. It's like she's waiting. Okay, I'm going to take a second and tune in, and you can do the same and join us. We'll just see what Hadden has to say. Yes, I am so happy to be here with you in this sacred moment, in this sacred space we call the heart space. I'm so happy to be here now with all of you, with your energy, with your soul, with the light that you are. Feel yourself as light. Breathe yourself into the light that is you. The light that is all of us. You are here because you know this truth. Your knowing drew you here into this experience with us so that your human could receive the reminder, receive the frequency, receive this vibrational activation of the truth that already lies within you. You are creation itself, experiencing life by existing in a human body. You already know, as creation, you didn't make any mistakes. Your human existence, the human that is you, the precious, valuable, beautiful vessel that you chose to express through, is perfect. It supports you being here. You, the real you, the energy that is you, the soul that is you, the love and the light that is you, the real you, expresses through your human vessel, the physical body. And the more you allow this expression, you will feel its perfection. But it was always perfect from the moment you got here. There is and was a perfection. Within you, a perfection that is you, a perfection that chose to be here. Do you remember making that choice? Do you remember how excited you were? Do you remember the love that you brought into existence as soon as you were born, and even before you were sharing a physical space with the one that birthed you, already having brought heaven to earth? You are heaven on earth. It is you, the real you. We are here to remind you of that you. And the way that you are designed, and the way all of us are designed, is on purpose, with purpose. We want to remind you that your human mind may not fully understand that purpose in the way that your human mind has learned, has been programmed to understand life. The mind has rules, boundaries, shoulds, expectations, boxes that things go in, all of this for the safety that your soul already knows. We are here to free you. You came here on purpose, designed on purpose, with a purpose, as we all did, as we all are. We are all this perfection, expressing in human form for the experience of this life, which is a journey, a beautiful journey. Of creation, knowing itself. Your existence is perfect. God is experiencing through you. You are experiencing through you. And as I've told my mom, since very early days of her tuning in this way, you're not stuck. You are never stuck. We are here to unstick you, to shift you. You have asked for what else? You have asked for higher understanding. You have asked for clarity. We are here to shift you out of being stuck, which you never were, into being free. Freedom is the truth of you. You are free of any mistakes because they were never real. They were never the truth of the real you. You are a creation of God. Each of us, in our own perfection, by our own choice, is a creation of God, from God, by God. And we are that same energy expressing through a body. We're going to shift you into your power now. Where is it, you ask? Where is my power? Where is the perspective that I can hold that will guide me through anything I ever see as wrong? This is what you can do to shift. Your power is in your focus. What are you focusing on? You can focus on what you see and believe to be mistakes as long as you feel you need to do that. That is your journey and it's perfect. We believe you are here because the powerful, truly powerful part of you knows. And that part of you easily guides you to focus on what is perfect, what is right, even though there is no right or wrong. But you can define it as that. That's how my mom started. She just wanted to focus on what was right. And then eventually she realized it's all perfect. There is no right or wrong way to be here, to express here. We are all energy, divine, divinely designed, divinely perfect. So focus and observe what maybe you have been focusing on. You can focus on the things that you believe happened to you. But here in this moment with us, in this frequency, you are already shifting those very things as you observe them, as you hold them in the light that is you. You can focus upon them and see what is right, what is true, what is magical, what is divinely designed and perfect. Love the perfect imperfections. We've said this before. Love the perfect imperfections. Love them. In love, you see truth. And it will be shown to you, that truth. My mom first experienced this as the question that came to her. If there are so many things wrong with my child, why is she here? Why is there so much going right? She was already shifting her focus because it felt better to focus on all of the things that were working perfectly in my body. All of the things that I did that were perfectly me, that were part of my personality, my daily expression, my light, my joy, my love, my contribution to her life. And there was no denying how much fun I was having. And when you make this shift, you will have more fun with us. Some of us aren't here to do as much. We're showing you the power of being here in pure love, pure joy, pure light and love. Your power to shift is your focus. What are you focusing upon? The human body is a miracle. You are a miracle. You came here with a purpose, on purpose. Focus on the miracle of the human body and remember, it's okay. It's actually better if your mind doesn't understand. Let it. We are in times of the heart leading the way, not the mind. Of the soul leading the way, not the mind, not the programs. This is new earth. The guidance that comes from within your soul, which is a portal, from within your heart, which is a portal to your soul. That knowing, that guidance is coming from the real you. Your mind will catch up in time. Your mind has much to let go of. Let your mind do all it was designed to do. Let go of trying to figure all of this out and know and feel. Feel what it feels like in your body to shift your focus on what you can see in others, in yourself, and in the world that is going right. Whatever you focus on, if you focus on magic, miracles, and divine perfection, and from this frequency, when you see through the eyes of love, whatever you focus on, you get more. You continually get shown more. You experience more. You come into more. You become more. Magic, miracles, divine perfection, because that's what you already are. This truth is here for you now. As a vibration, we are holding as a frequency to experience now. You don't need to understand it. Some of us are so connected to the knowing part of us that we actually have less use for our mind. We are already living from higher consciousness, from our soul, from our energy. And we are here to guide you into living there with us. But you can't get there if you think there was a mistake made. You can't get there while you're trying to fix us. Fix you, fix your life, help us. Change. We are beyond needing change. We are beyond needing, in fact. So, how do you live with us in real life? How do you advocate for us? How do you do all of the things you learn to do as a parent or a caregiver or just someone that wants to help? This is a shift in perspective. In New Earth, you are not fixing, helping, changing, or filling some kind of gap or lack. You are supporting. Just as our body supports our soul to be here in physical form, you can support our physical experience. Doesn't that feel better? Like supporting a friend. In supporting a friend, you know that they have everything they need within themselves. You're not there to do it for them. If they're going through something, you're not there as the solution. You're just there for support. You're just being there. And what is the best way to support anyone? We think it is to be love. Love is the most supportive vibration. Be love. Love doesn't change. Love doesn't fix. Love does not identify as anything being wrong. Love sees the truth. In love, the truth is seen. And the truth is the real you. And in the real you, you are free. In the real you, you are free. We are all free. In the new earth frequency, in this energy now, in the moment, in this sacred moment, which is eternal, just like you. We are free. Free to be everything we came here to be. And doesn't that even look different from this level of consciousness? We thank you for being here and being you. You are guided, loved, and supported. And so it is, because you are. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.